in Bombay High Court has granted relief to Ravi and Navneet Rana from arrest in the second FIR registered with the Khar police station. However, the court dismisses the plea, stating the state was justified in holding apprehension about the law and order situation being disturbed. These are details of the case developing in Mumbai city on Saturday. Remember, independent MP Navneet Rana and also her husband MLA from Amravati Ravi Rana were arrested for threatening to recite Hanuman Chalisa right outside Matoshree, the residence of Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray. Dev Kotak has more on that. Dev, what more can you tell us?
What we hear right now is that, firstly, to let you know that in a massive relief to the Rana couple, the second FIR in which they have been named for the sedition charge, that has been removed. Also, the court has granted, the Bombay High Court has granted them relief. Also, but as far as the first FIR is concerned, in that stringent action should be taken. However, the Justice Varale also observed the fact that these people, the Rana couple, lead a very active social and public life. So however famous or powerful they are, they cannot misbehave and cannot act in an unruly manner, even if it is with the opposition. So of course, clearly stating, the justice said, with great power comes great responsibility. Hence they must be responsible at all points in time. And the fact that they misbehaved with police officials, told them that they don't know who they are and they must watch what their actions are or the police will get into trouble. This is what the Rana couple had said when the cops had tried to earlier go to their house. The court also observed the fact that despite being served with a 149 notice under the Criminal Procedure Code, these guys did not stop. And on the next day also they continued to instigate people through using social media platforms. On Facebook, Navneet Rana went live the day Shiv Sainiks were protesting under a house at Khar, and she also uploaded a video of herself doing the aarti. However, the court also observed that the potential law and order problem and the apprehension that could have caused those things cannot be avoided or be overlooked at any cost. However, in a latest and breaking update that we have is 72 hours is all the Ranas have, and they have time to respond to the notice in terms of why action shouldn't be taken against them. However, the sedition charge, that will not play out, and that has been quashed in the second FIR that was registered against the Rana couple at Khar police station day before yesterday in the evening. Also those arguments back and forth have gone on behalf of the Rana couple, being represented by Advocate Rizwan Merchant, saying that she was told a lot of things that really demean and insult a human being and really attack their character. Calling them Nichi Jat or a low caste person, not being allowed to give water, is violative of the basic and fundamental human rights. This is something that even the leader of opposition and former Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis had taken up in his press conference earlier that was held today afternoon. So these are the things that we have for now. However, we also know that Justice Varale had really pointed out to the manner in which the Rana couple had acted and misbehaved. Despite being served a notice, they did not stay within their limits and also continue to instigate people, rile up the Shiv Sainiks. Of course, this could have potentially caused a massive law and order problem. Our channel was reporting that day also there were about 900 odd angry Shiv Sainiks who had gone on a rampage. They were bursting crackers, they were playing the drums, and of course a heavy police machinery was also deployed. So this can really cause a lot of problems to the state machinery and its running of the administration. Pradeep Gharat, the special public prosecutor on behalf of the state, also argued the fact that you cannot engage in a manner like this. Even though if you are an MLA or an MP, you all are public representatives, and this kind of behavior does not suit anyone. Pradeep Gharat also said the fact that these attempts were made with a possible attempt rather to destabilize and topple the government. So these are the kind of arguments when both the sides had presented in their plea. Justice Varale took close note of that. However, like I mentioned earlier, at least some relief that in the second FIR, the sedition charge which was pressed against the Rana couple, that will not be pursued now.
Yes,
however,
will not be pursued now, and there was growing chorus Also, Dev, like always, these charges slapped against them under sections that would then allow them to face the law, with them facing sedition charges, was grossly unfair at best. They were threatening the law and order situation, which could go out of hand like we saw on Saturday. But this really does not call, they really can't be tried for sedition is what many said, isn't it?
Yeah, finally, however, the court has delivered its justice and taken due note of the fact that the sedition charge is baseless, and this does not amount to any kind of seditious behavior on part of the Rana couple. However, they were instigating, but to call it sedition would just be outright wrong. This is something Justice Varale also observed a few minutes back before passing the judgment in this case. Also, we know for a matter of fact that the Section 353, IPC 353 charge will be pursued very aggressively, which has been added in the first FIR because they allegedly misbehaved with the cops when they went to their house and told them, kindly present yourselves at the police station. They said, do you even know who I am? Do you even know what law and order problem can be caused? So making statements like these, or misbehaving or behaving in a manner that is highly unacceptable with a public servant and disallowing them from discharging their duty is a very serious claim. Of course, however, the Rana couple have denied all of these things, said that despite the fact that we decided to call off our program of wanting to chant outside Matoshree, Uddhav Thackeray's residence, despite that we were picked up. We said when we were told that the PM's function is going to happen the next day, which was on Sunday, and he's set to visit Mumbai, we had stopped and cancelled all our plans because we wanted to respect the Honorable Prime Minister's visit in the commercial capital of India. But despite that, nobody heard us out, and we were even refused a chance to present ourselves or clarify ourselves, and now these guys are just pressing sections after sections against us. This is extremely repressive and a highly condemnable thing. This is what Navneet Rana had also said. Of course, we know the way they were, the Rana couple was misbehaved with and badly treated to make casteist comments.
That's a serious allegation again, Dev, that was made by Navneet Rana. Take us through the details of that as well, where she said that because she comes from the scheduled caste category, she was treated badly, and she's also said that she's going to be getting in touch with the speaker, given that she also is a member of parliament.
Well, these are only allegations, but however, we don't know the authenticity of it. But one thing, as a matter of fact, for sure we can vouch for is the fact that Navneet Rana is believed to have written a letter to Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla, which is in possession with our channel. Of course, we can vouch for the fact that this letter has reached New Delhi, and due note and cognizance of this fact has been taken. The contents of this letter were really startling and concerning, saying that firstly, I am a lady. Secondly, just because of the caste that I represent or belong to, I cannot be made a victim and a scapegoat. To make casteist comments like call me Nichi Jat or a lower caste person is just violative of human rights. And something as basic as when I ask you for water and you don't give it to me, what else does that speak? It speaks volumes about the kind of state machinery that there is at play. Of course, we don't know whether the police were acting independently or at the orders of the higher-ups, including police officials and the state government. But however, these are only accusations which the BJP and the opposition parties have been making, saying that you cannot do something like this. This is not justified in any manner, and this is unruly behavior, calling it also a very dark day in the history of politics in Maharashtra. However, the court played it fair, granting some relief is something that we can see for now.
All right, Dave is getting us all of those details. Dave, in fact, this is not the first time that the Ranas have made these allegations. On Saturday, they had gone on to say that the Chief Minister himself is going to be held responsible if something happens to their children. Ravi Rana had come out and said that there was an attack in his Amravati house by Shiv Sainiks. Dave.
Yeah, also I feel it's I also feel it's a tad bit immature to really speculate about the fact whether your children will be harmed or not. Why should we just assume that just because the political machinery in power...
Be with us. We have a reaction coming in from Aditya Thackeray, Minister in the Maharashtra cabinet. Listen in.
यहाँ योगा के लिए भी है, तो अन्य सारी जो चीजें लगेंगी उनको, तो वो भी
We play out that soundbite in just a few moments from now. Aditya Thackeray, Kotak continues to be with us. They've, in fact, we're talking about the other allegations that are made by Ravi Rana, saying that Shiv Sainiks had attacked his house in Amravati where his children were.
Given the fact that the Shiv Sena is in power and they wield immense clout in the state and in the city of Mumbai, Ravi Rana is also right in a way in expressing his doubts and the fear that he has in terms of the protection and safety for his family, because like we saw, the Shiv Sainiks can go on a rampage. Of course, they had acted in an extremely violent and aggressive manner on Khar, on Saturday too, in Khar under their Bombay residence. They had broken barricades, they had jumped over them, they had also made several attempts to enter the building, Lavi, the apartment in which the Ranas live in Bombay. Also, you can imagine from the fact that at least 3 layers of human chains by the police officials had to be formed. So every time the Shiv Sainiks kept coming closer to the apartment, they had to be pushed back. You can purely imagine from the fact that why Ravi Rana is also right in a way, because every time the police would stop the Sainiks and the protesters, they would come back and bounce back or hit back in a much more aggressive manner. So definitely that could have caused a potential law and problem. But Ravi Rana also cannot loosely get away with the fact that no instigation attempts were made by him or his wife to make comments like, if something happens in this city, the Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray will be responsible. Why would one want to do something like that? Okay. The court also said something like this in a few minutes back, saying that that if you are a public figure leading a social and active political life, then you must refrain from making comments like these. This could have actually caused a law and order problem. Justice Varale too took acknowledgement of that fact, saying that these arguments are not wrong. And what if something serious would have been, something serious could have taken place in this city? Who would be responsible? These people come from outside the city, make comments, cause certain problems, and then it becomes a very difficult issue for the state machinery to deal with. And then to go on and question, saying that what will happen about the law and order, and if their demands are not abided by then to hold the Chief Minister responsible for something going wrong is plain and simple wrong, is personally something that we need to take note of and get an idea about.
All right, getting into the very latest as far as the controversial case of MP Navneet Rana and her husband, independent MLA Ravi Rana is concerned. The Bombay High Court has granted some relief to Ravi and Navneet Rana from arrest in the second FIR registered with Khar police. However, the court dismisses the plea, stating the state was justified in holding apprehension about the law and order situation going out of hand. Dev Kotak continues to be with us. Dev, for our viewers, give us an idea about how things were spilling over in Mumbai city. On one hand, we had Shiv Sainiks protesting at Khar, the residence of the MP MLA. And on the other, there were Shiv Sainiks again at Matoshree. That's the reason why the court has been fairly upset about how things were being done and how the Mumbai police was pushed against the wall when it came to keeping things under control, isn't it?
Mumbai police was definitely pushed against the wall, but they did a pretty fantastic job keeping these angry and aggressive protesters under check. As a journalist, I can surely tell you that when we did not have enough place to even stand on the pavement or even roll out a camera, because we were so scared that something might get damaged or we might get hurt in the process. So you can only imagine in that very tiny, congested, crammed lane, when about 1,000 people gather in one group. Of course, there were two groups. One was the men's group and the women's group, who were using cuss words, who were dissing out the Rana couple, using extremely derogatory language that we cannot say on national television. So, the cops thankfully did not use any kind of force, and they amicably resolved the issue and dealt with the matter in an extremely tactful way. But let me point out to you a very important fact, that thankfully the matter got suppressed in Khar under the Rana's residence itself. had the matter blown out of proportion and had those angry Sainiks approached the Matoshree to guard their original Hindutva Shiv Sena bastion, then it would have been a different problem altogether. You know, despite the fact that under their car residence, 2 columns of the State Reserve Police Force had to be deployed, really speaks volumes. You know, the police officials from the adjoining police stations around were not enough. Two more buses of the SRPF filled with officers had to be brought in to contain the situation at that point in time. It was very aggressive. Anything could have happened. They could have gone on a rampage. But thankfully, the angry Sainiks also did not lose their cool. However, there was heavy sloganeering, and it seemed at any point in time that they will just smash through or break the human chain which was being formed by the police officials. So, you know, you can really gauge and understand from the fact that when I narrate these incidents and these details of what it could have spilled over into, and this could have been a massive law and order problem for the state machinery to deal with.
This could have been a massive problem. Things were indeed, in fact, going out of hand on Saturday. And also, while being taken to jail, some serious allegations have been made by Navneet Rana. Dave, if you could take us to the details of that, including of the letter that has been written to the Speaker.
I'm going to point out a couple of contents in the letter which Navneet Rana wrote to the Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. You know, these are some very startling revelations and some very serious allegations that are being made against the Mumbai police. Earlier, it was only against the Shiv Sena, and now Mumbai police also being accused of manhandling and you know, wrongdoings while the Rana couple was in their custody. First, to begin with, she wasn't given water.
Be with us. We'll just come back to you.